Words can escalate. Questions can confuse. Silence keeps communities safe. Your restraint is appreciated.
This is the Daily Dystopia News Network. Reality reported before it collapses.
Good morning, or whatever time it is when reality finally taps out. If you feel like the weekend lasted a year and erased your sense of moral gravity, congratulations. You're paying attention. This is Daily Dystopia, where the news comes fast, the truth comes late, and accountability is always under review.
Come here.
5-year-old Mateo walked out of an ICE van this afternoon and into the arms of his family. The agency told us they weren't seeking asylum when they crossed the border. But in court, the judge responded, quote, "This is a kindergarten student." Mateo spent nearly 2 weeks in detention.
Welcome to the Ministry of Obedience. Compliance is freedom. Observation is interference. And silence keeps you safe. Thank you for choosing order. We're here to listen.
And the internet is ready to freeze the account. Here's what went down. Late Tuesday, press photos showed a White House issued Visa debit card, hole punch, doodled on, and dangling from Nicki Minaj's bracelet like a charm. A spokesperson shrugged it off as a memento from her visit. Minutes later, Nicki posted this: sparkles pink nails, steak.
Your complaint has been received. Your case is under review. Justice requires patience. Please do not resubmit.
The news is that they est in the Lord voting line of the nation. The law has spoken. The outcome is final. Appeals will not be acknowledged.
The law has spoken. The outcome is final. Appeals will not be acknowledged.
Immigration officers say a detainee simply ran into a wall. But the CT scans tell another story. 8 separate skull fractures, documented by hospital trauma surgeons, don't match the official claim. Surveillance video shows no impact with the wall at all. Doctors say these injuries are consistent with blunt force from an...
Every generation resists at first. Maturity is learning when to stop. The ministry will wait. Resistance is a phase.
$500 million, 49% ownership, zero disclosure. That's what this handshake buys. A slice of power, bought in silence and paid in code. Democracy now accepts crypto in silence. Here in the desert's tallest glass tower,
measles has been confirmed here in this ICE detention facility, and as a result, all movement in and out of the complex is frozen. Detainees are being kept behind this quarantine barrier, medical teams are screening dozens more, and transfers have been suspended until further notice. Despite the outbreak, ICE officials insist the site remains...
ICE finally named the agents involved, after everyone already knew. It's the kind of transparency you get when the curtains are see-through, but the windows are bricked up. ProPublica calls it, quote, a stark departure from normal practice. ICE calls it Monday. The agency says both agents are on administrative leave.
The Justice Department thought it had a case. It filed an ethics complaint against a federal judge, accusing her of bias in a high-profile matter. But the judge's colleagues on the review panel, they reacted with something close to an audible sigh. And this. Dismissed. In a unanimous ruling, the panel said the complaint lacked both merit.
Chicago police have been told if Immigration and Customs Enforcement steps out of line, write it down. Every stop, every badge number, every shove. A new directive orders officers to document any ICE misconduct they witness. Why? City officials say ICE raids have gone untracked for years.
Freedom without guidance becomes danger. Permission creates harmony. Thank you for requesting access.
Authorities say a suspect led deputies on a high-speed chase up Interstate 17 tonight, ending here in the desert just north of Phoenix. Investigators tell us the man fired several rounds at this sheriff's helicopter while trying to get away. One bullet punched through a side window, missing the flight crew by inches.
75-year-old Plaza story, because nothing says humble self-governance like a stainless steel rainbow you can see from 4 zip codes away. City leaders promise the arch will bridge past and future, which conveniently also bridges these 2 graves, whose occupants, I'm told, would have been thrilled to be part of a tourism strategy.
Tonight, in a warehouse district on the south side, a young woman paused on the sidewalk, phone out, watching immigration agents make an arrest. Within seconds, those agents spun toward her. One drew a pistol. Another shouted for her to step back. She didn't run, she filmed. What happened next? They moved on her like she was part of the operation.
Anger is unhealthy. Grief is unproductive. Compliance improves mental health. Regulate your emotions. Smile. Breathe. Be well. Stay safe.
Chaos hurts everyone. Order protects everyone. If you have done nothing wrong, compliance costs you nothing. The Ministry of Obedience thanks you for your cooperation.
Inside Google, an engineer says AI tools built to flag objects in satellite footage were repurposed to analyze surveillance over Gaza. According to internal documents we obtained, members of the company's ethics team challenged the project last spring, warning it could be used for targeting civilians.
Today, 2 counties, 2 upsets, one night in Texas. Waller County, west of Houston, flipped from red to blue in the commissioner's race. Mesa County, up in the Panhandle, went the other way, blue to red in a state house special. Officials call it all about local issues, property tax.
Your data is secure. Your movements are logged for your safety. Your future depends on stability. Trust the system that watches over you.
The Department of Justice is apologizing tonight after nude photographs of crime survivors were accidentally uploaded to a public case portal. The images, which should have been fully redacted, were left exposed for several hours on a government website before being taken down. A spokesperson calls the release a mistake and says
they don't know, they didn't check, and now they've closed the review. An internal Justice Department memo admits investigators ended their probe into the abuse of federal detainees without identifying who actually carried it out. Victims were interviewed, records were reviewed, but the report says, quote,
This week, Immigration and Customs Enforcement got a bigger net. They can now arrest someone if agents think that person might try to escape. No warrant, no judge, just a strong feeling. The vibes may be unconstitutional, but the paperwork, pristine. Forms, stamps, boxes checked, chef's kiss.
Another late night, another deadlock. Congress hit the snooze button on funding the government, and at midnight, the lights went out. Well, on paper at least. Federal workers are being sent home, parks are padlocked, and the Capitol behind me is operating on fumes. Lawmakers promised their...
These incidents are unrelated. Statistics do not imply intent. Patterns are a form of bias.
An internal review found no wrongdoing. Transparency has been achieved. Further questions are unnecessary.
If this felt like too much, that's not a flaw in you, it's the design. Flood the zone, blur the truth, exhaust the witnesses. But history doesn't forget, and neither do the people who are paying attention. Rest if you must, but don't look away.